before I'll get into my conversation. So take a look at this very great scene here. So I know you've seen it before because I was here last year, but I decided to come in the morning today, and probably we'll do one more live from here at night, share it with you before I leave town for my next destination. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna walk a little bit around the bend here, head out on Nanjing Street on the east part, and continue my conversation there, and we'll just go from there. So, all right, excited to be with you as always, and I have this interesting topic to talk to you about, to give you my insights regarding what took place in Qatar yesterday, I believe. I read it yesterday, I just couldn't because I was moving around. It wasn't conducive for me to do live stream, and you know me, I don't jump on things till I read and research, and so I can provide you accurate information and sort of don't want just be reactionary to events. So the two main things I'm gonna talk to you about today is Qatar, and the other one I'll touch on it while I'm on live with you here, guys, or live stream, that is what's going on in Nepal. You need to understand what's going on in Nepal. So I'm gonna switch the camera. You won't see my face here because I want you to see the scenery. I'll talk to you and come back here and cross the street. So I'm gonna be crossing on the other side into Nanjing East Street. So let me switch there we go. And please, before I move forward, give me thumbs up if you can hear me. I just got the mic piece delivered to me this morning from the GI store, whatever they have their parts, and it came on time, and so I want to make sure. Okay, yeah, I can. Please give me thumbs up. Oh, thank you very much, Khan. Truly appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I just want to make sure. So as I said, I'm gonna walk you through here. There is not a lot of people here in the morning. As you know, it's getting a little sunny here. Clear sky as it can get. Very beautiful, glorious day here in Shanghai. So, but I also want you to see this scenery here in the daytime. As I mentioned earlier, I will come here at night. Not sure when, the next few days, do a live stream for you from this location before I leave. So I'll do one more scenery site here for you. Check it out. Very beautiful here. But also highlights, you know, where things are. And if you know anything about Shanghai, you know that it is one of the main financial hubs in the world. But also interesting enough is that it played a major role in the history of China. So some of us do not know. I don't know all of it. I am learning about it. So what you see that big building right there, way at the top, that's the Bank of China. I had to ask Dr. Warwick Bao, because he knows about these things a great deal. And I said, by the way, Warwick, that building in Shanghai, is it the main central bank for China where the financial or fiscal policies are made? He said, no. The main decisions are made in Beijing. So that just happened to be a major bank here, a corporation of sort or something. But I was under the impression that's the central bank, but it's not. So Warwick sort of clarified that to me. Once again, take a look at this here, man. Very incredible. This is, of course, the needle that is famous for. I have not gone up to the building top. You can get a ticket and go up to the top. I'm not. That's touristy stuff for me. It's just not for me. I'm not that type. So, but anyway. So let's talk about. And I'm gonna walk this way here, then come around the other direction. This way I'll be able to share this with you. So Qatar, what happened in Qatar? Why did Israel targeted the Hamas meeting that was taking place in Doha? It's no secret that Qatar has allowed Hamas to have a headquarters in Doha. And it's been there for a while, it's nothing new. But to me, the big question is now, which almost becoming clear, is Israel, when I say Israel, I'm referring to the government. FYI, I had yesterday a lengthy conversation with a great friend who happens to be an Israeli, and we kind of really discussed the whole issue of where the government is in Tel Aviv and the irrational policies, even for him as an Israeli. He agreed with me that the problem is within the government, not the Jewish people. And of course, as I always say to you guys, we should not generalize, because we can't have that kind of thinking, because we think of the facts as they are. And the facts are this, is that the Netanyahu's government, so pushing now the envelope, as you may see, if I may say, because they know, I think they know that Qatar, like other spineless Sunni states, will not respond. That's my thinking. So far, we are to see whether Qatar will have the courage to respond. I have my doubts. Those countries are not in a position to do so. All of the Gulf states. So they won't be able to do squat about it. And that's only going to create more problems, not only for them, but other Sunni countries. Why, you may ask? Is because Israel's gonna, or Bibi Netanyahu in this case, will be say, you know what? There is no reaction to this. I am not gonna be sort of worried about what the Sunni Arabs gonna do. Because if they would have wanted to do something, they would have done it a year ago when we saw what happened in Gaza. Now, the issue of Gaza, based on my conversation yesterday, which was very, very interesting. It is the whole situation in Israel and Palestine and all that. It's so complicated. I am not saying there is an easy solution. I remember when I was doing my graduate program in international security, we had one time a role play. And the role play, I remember I played the role of either the UN or Israel. I couldn't remember, because I didn't want to play the role of the Palestine, because I wanted to provoke more conversation and debates. And the argument yesterday with my dear friend was about the idea of even the two-state solutions could, and I say could, become a major problem. Why, you may ask? Is because one or the other, meaning either Israel or Palestine, will sort of bear the consequences of the trajectory of that decision. Let me explain this.
Welcome to Shanghai.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's a gentleman just walking here saying, welcome to Shanghai. So they're wonderful people here. So here is my argument. And please, if you have a different thoughts, please share it with the community, because that's what we do in this community. So the idea of hypothetically the two-state solutions. If Israel doesn't allow, for example, the Palestinians to have that freedom per se as an independent state, then that becomes a problem, because you will be seeing probably similar actions to the apartheid, what took place, even though some will argue that there are some currently. You reverse the role by saying, what will happen with these two-state solutions? Israel could become the minority because they are majority Palestinians. So that's why I'm saying it's the complication of the issue. This doesn't resolve that doesn't from a fundamental question. And that fundamental question is, why is Israel acting to do whatever it wants? And yet, the Arab states, it won't be able to do anything. Even the US, because what happened with the attack on Qatar highlighted one key factor, and this one has to do with the so-called US security umbrella in the Gulf states, meaning it's useless. Of course, the US is gonna shut down rather the Israeli fighter jets, because the US is taking part of the problem. That is where the issue is. And this is why you have to think in terms what happened in Qatar. In my opinion, it's only the beginning if countries like Qatar, like react or take action. It's not about issuing statements. I know the representative of Qatar already issued a statement, and this is a violation of sovereignty, this is a violation of international law. Well, this is nothing new. So why are we just hearing it today when no action has been taken? Even the Saudi prince this morning, and I read his statement in Arabic language, is well, we condemn what Israel. No, man, come on. You're just talking. After all, you are the one who had a secret meeting with Netanyahu himself on the Saudi soil. Nobody knew about at that time. That was a few years ago, by the way. And that was probably where the arrangements were made for him, meaning MBS, to ensure the throne, the crown. And it's all about the damn power. Even for Benjamin Netanyahu, it's about power. It got to the point now, he's not going to relinquish power no matter what the cost is. But unless he is put into his place, nothing's going to change. I mean, you saw what happened with Iran and what Iran did. Will he dare again to attack Iran? I don't think so. Even the US will have to think twice now about engaging Iran at that level. So suffice it to say, in my opinion, is that the idea of the attack on Hamas headquarters in Doha in violation of the Qatari sovereign airspace, in violation of international law, all this suggests that Benjamin Netanyahu's office is not going to care about what the international community says. Why? Because he has the backing Donald Trump of my country, which my country is doing the wrong thing. And I'm not going to shy away from saying this. So you think about the idea of the Arab states, the Sunni Arab states, I shall not say all, the Sunni Arab states will not, and again, based on my experience, I've been on the ground, I've dealt with those entities when I was in the government in Washington. What I know about the culture, what I know about the political systems over there, the conversations I had with some officials inside some of those governments suggest to me that they will not take action no matter what. So what they're gonna be doing is like what Qatar is doing right now, what Saudi Arabia is doing right now, what Jordan will soon say. It's all gonna be, we condemn this action, whatever. But at the heart of it is the survival of those monarchies. That's what they care. At the same time, you have a population be it in Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, that has been catered to from cradle to grave. That's usually how I see it. So this is why you are not going to see any reaction from it. I'll be surprised, and if I am wrong, then I'll admit it, and I say, you know what, I was wrong on this. It just, again, I'm using history as my guide into if the Sunni Arab states would have wanted to take action, they would have taken it a year ago when the starvation started and all that stuff. Tell me if there was any Sunni Arab states that had the gut, and despite what Qatar and Bahrain, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, all of them, but we are focusing on Qatar right now. Tell me, despite all the weapons they have been purchasing from the US. So what use is this weapon? Check out, guys, this boat here. This is a tour for a tour. I'm gonna keep it closer to you to see. Yeah, you can ride the boat here. Especially at night, you see the dragons there. You can take the boat at night and it goes all the way around the area here. So very beautiful. I didn't do it last time. I don't intend on doing it. I can just see it from here and that'll be enough for me. So I want you just to see this. If anybody speaks Chinese, please, can you share with the community what it says right there if you can see it? So it is beautiful. So and yeah, and it goes all the way around all the way at the end over there. It's very long, so that's how far it goes. So it's beautiful. I remember last year when I was with Jerry and Fernando, they were kind enough to invited me on a boat ride, rather. It was incredible. So, Jerry, Fernando, if you are listening, I wanted to say thank you for that experience. So, I treasure that one. Once again, just to go back to my topic about Qatar, I just have my doubts. Where my concern lies, you may ask, and the concern that I have is that the trajectory of the actions themselves. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is that if Israel went ahead, violated the airspace of Qatar, bombed the headquarters of the these other civilians were killed. The leadership of Hamas was not killed. That bear two questions for me. One of them has to do with the trajectory, and the second one has to do who fed the intelligence information to the Israelis to know the exact time of the meeting. And this is why, like I always say, as one who's been around the intelligence community during my days, you kind of understand this dynamics, how it works. The same thing that happened in Yemen. Someone was feeding the targets to the Israelis' intelligence. So I won't be surprised. Don't think the Sunnis are saint. They are not. So for money, greed and money can really, really blind you. It can blind one's heart, and it can take you into some decisions, like the saying goes, where everybody has a price. I might have to disagree with that. Look at this big clock. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock exactly. Yeah. It's beautiful here, so the question about, as I said, the first one has to do with the trajectory. And what do I mean by this? Is the idea that now Israel took this action, there is no reaction. Could Jordan be next if Hamas leaders decide to meet in Amman? You know, the possibility is there, because it was a meeting that took place. I remember when I was in the Middle East a few years ago, it took place over there. The second one will be, will Israel go as far as doing it in Egypt as well? For Egypt, I don't think so. Why? Egypt military is kind of, has a side. But again, it's useless when it matters. It doesn't matter. Look at the Saudi and Qatar itself with the massive amount of weapons it has. But then what's the point? If you can use it when you need it, then what's the point? So, and this is again where my fear is, that if Netanyahu will keep going forward, this is why Netanyahu went ahead and his office gave about $52 million to Google to kind of turn down the narrative regarding his action. That is my opinion. I don't know about YouTube yet, but I'm gonna find out. We all know how it is. Well, YouTube is owned by Google anyway, so you all know, you can read between the lines. So suffice it to say that if this action taken by Israel is not responded to, then it's gonna open up the door to other stuff. And that's where my fear is. On the other hand, because you have to consider also what's taking place in Syria as we speak, as far as the behind the scenes dynamics, that Israel wants to play an influential role, so does Turkey. And all this is going to shape the direction of the geopolitical landscape in that region moving forward. So Netanyahu is also dealing with the investigation, the corruption that is ongoing, but that doesn't prevent him from acting aggressively in this manner by violating another country's sovereignty. And that's, to me, where I fear the most, because this is gonna till when you're gonna say enough is enough. I don't expect any action from the Sunni states. The Sunni states, they are too weak to react, because the monarchies, whomever that is, they care less for whatever happens in Gaza, whatever happens in whatever. They care about the survival of their regime and ensure that will pass to their next generation and so forth. And this till the Arab world wake up, the Sunnis wake up from their slum to understand where things are. Sadly, I would say nothing is going to change. And this is again where my fear. The other thing has to do with the vision Netanyahu is having. Because remember, he did present a map that showed some changes to the land, to the border lines. Because his objective is to expand the size of Israel. Could Qatar or Bahrain or Kuwait or any of those will play a role into that by changing the landscape? Maybe, maybe not. All I know for fact, no, this is the famous scene here, guys, by the way. This is where everybody here, this is like the famous one. Suffice it to say that that's the objective, and that's gonna, if you remember, I shared this with you, the statement from the former General Wesley Clark, when he talked about the memo he saw where we had a plan from Iraq, Syria, Libya, so forth, and ending by Iran. So unfortunately, that might not materialize. Is because in the case of Iran is very, 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 very different. And I don't think so. Israel will take any other chance of attacking Iran, because next time Iran's gonna respond, is gonna respond forcefully and destructively, if I may use the term. I've been following the upgrade or their defense systems. I've been also following and reading from different sources the sort of deployments of the next generation of missiles that they have, and those are within reach to anywhere in Israel, anywhere. I recall a few years ago I argued this, that should Iran is attacked, it will launch a barrage on Tel Aviv, and of course my statements a few years ago was dismissed. And I said, okay, that's fine. Let's wait and see what transpires. So this is where my concern is moving forward into this direction. So let me move to talk about the other topic, about Nepal, which really, I'll admit, it took me by surprise. Why? Because I was exchanging a conversation with a good and trusted friend of mine in Singapore. And one of the ideas which we both agreed on is that regarding India's role, it's not going to want to relinquish its influence in Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and to a degree Sri Lanka. But Sri Lanka, in my opinion, is gone. Why? Because of the financial crisis it's going through. Bhutan, it's really in a firm grip of India. That leaves Bangladesh and Nepal. And if you notice anything happened during the SCO summit, it was the meeting between President Xi Jinping and the Prime Minister of Nepal, which I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, which, by the way, he resigned due to these protests. And two main things happened about this particular meeting, which, by the way, when I get back home, I'm going to do an episode for you detailing, because there are a lot of information. I just don't have the means, the way to do it, because I am not. I'm not in my office to have the ability to have all the key stats and so forth to share with you. Two main sectors that China and Nepal signed an agreement upon. One has to do with energy, and the other one has to do with infrastructure. And here is what I found ironic, very ironic, is that the moment that agreement was signed and the SCO concluded and the foreign minister or the prime minister of Nepal returned to his country, all of a sudden those demonstrations started. Of course, they started over the shutdown of social media, which usually I just don't buy that argument. And again, that's me. Please, if you have a different opinion, if you will be kind, share it with the community. That's what we are here to learn. I'm gonna tell you what I think. And again, it's my opinion. The way I see it is that by having Nepal getting closer to China, India did not like that. The deal was maybe the US and India worked something behind closed doors, despite the tensions regarding India buying oil from Russia. Because here is the thing. Why did the United States didn't react to India buying oil a year and a half ago? Excuse me. That's to me what I see. India was concerned about losing its influence in Nepal, and the US also wanted to sort of, that's just my thinking. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I bear, it's my own mistake if I am wrong. But that's how I read it. The demonstrations by the young generation, because here is the thing, it's similar setting that took place in Hong Kong. And we all found out who was funding Hong Kong demonstrations. Why should I be any surprise at this right now? That is what I'm getting at. It's because Nepal has jumped one step forward away from the shackles of India. And I don't think so because despite what you hear, Jaishankar, the foreign minister of India, is saying about how great India is, it's nonsense. Like my dear friend in Singapore mentioned to me, which he is right, is the idea that India doesn't have the infrastructure, doesn't have the positioning to be talking about greatness when it doesn't have the support, the foundation for that particular agreement. You can't compare it to to China. There is no way. Economically, militarily, and technologically. Just because you have a massive or large population, that may be a liability in the case of India. I don't see it here a problem in China. That is where the difference is. And the idea of thinking about where India's headed, it's gonna remain to be seen, even though I don't trust them, what they are doing regarding this agreement with China. I put the two conditions. One is resolve the border issues once for all, and two, withdraw from a Quad. Then that will give me for me personally, an idea about the sincerity of India. So I'm gonna do one more shot here, guys, before I'll cross the street. So because I'm gonna leave this area here, the bend. And once again, I will come here at night and do a live for you. So let me cross the street here. This is the police here. They have security presence. Security presence is everywhere with cameras. Yesterday, I walked somewhere. I left my bag. I didn't even worry about it because I know nobody's gonna touch the stuff. To the point that I saw the food delivery people. They put in the bags of food on the side of the street, and whomever ordered will come and pick up his food using the app. No problem. Nobody's gonna steal that. Only to turn around when I logged in and I saw in my neighborhood one package was stolen from the front door of where it was delivered. So here in China, I don't worry about that. Two main things that we are crucial here is safety, that's one, and you don't run to the issues of theft. You can leave your bag out here and nobody will touch it. And I mean this because I experienced that one. So. Hello. There are people saying, I don't want to show you on the camera. Do you want me to show you on the camera? You okay? So, yeah, they're just waving here. They're sitting, enjoying in the shade under the tree and just wants to say hi. So thank you. 谢谢. So it just people are really chilled here, relaxed. So I'm going to cross the other side and go through the East Nanjing Street, the east part, and conclude over there and see if you have any question. I'll be happy to answer it for you. There are some shops here. This is by the Bund, where you can buy some, if you want to eat something here and so forth. But there's also the other side within Nanjing Street on the east part. So once again, for Nepal, I think that's to me where things are, and it gives me an idea as to what lies ahead. You know, the changes that took place, because even with the SCO summit, the SCO that is moving now beyond just a regional bloc that deals with security, terrorism, and so forth. It's moving into the area of economics, the strength of it. And as I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before or not, last year, the trade volume between China and SCO reached about 98 billion yuan, the equivalency of 12 billion US dollar. That's massive for a bloc that deals just with security, because they're seeing where the trend is headed as far as the economic ventures. And this is again, when Nepal signed that deal, I think India didn't like it. The US got concerned, cut a deal with India. It's like, hey, if we can change create turmoil, and that's exactly, because there is now a complete curfew. I just read about it, that the military took over, and the military is taking over just to ensure there is no theft, because there have been some theft and some break-ins and all that stuff. They want to ensure that. We also, the images in Sri Lanka, you all remember those guys. That's exactly the concern that they have right here regarding Nepal. But again, for me, as a geopolitical analyst, the way I look at it, I look over the horizon, and the idea that if Nepal was able to cut a deal on two aspects, energy and infrastructure with China, this in itself, I'm gonna cross on the other side here, this in itself paved the way for the expansion of economic ties. I asked a Vietnamese person, who was from Vietnam, and I asked him, I said, how are the economic conditions in your country, in Saigon? They pronounce it with the Vietnamese word, I forgot the name. And he said it's improving and it's very, very great. We are very, very happy with where the country is headed. And all this because also they enter into some economic ventures with China. And again, it's not about China, it's about economic ventures. Once you engage in economic ventures, that improves the conditions of the country. I look at it just with the example of the speed train that I rode coming from Beijing. I mean, for us, with all the wealth that we say we have, and we couldn't have a fast speed train that can connect, let's say, New York to Dallas, to me, it's I don't know. It gives me an idea that the government in my country, it's not working on behalf of its people. And this is nothing new. I'm not telling you something you don't know, because our system is corrupted beyond belief. You know, once again, I am on the ground here. I am seeing the livelihood of the average Chinese person. You know, you don't see people standing in the street begging. I didn't see any. I saw one, I remember, in Beijing. It was just one. He was homeless. I don't know what was his conditions. Looks to me that either he was drunk or something, which is normal. I mean, but you don't see the frequency of that in every corner you go. That's my point. And also because it's because where the government here is focusing its intentions on is the improvement of the living standards of every citizen. I go in the subway system. That's how I move around in Shanghai. You learn about the system here. I mean, the subways are so clean. I wish I can do a live stream for you from. I might do just a short video to show you the grounds on the subway, how clean they are. I compare this to what's going on in New York. I'm soon gonna do a short video for you from an airport. Why? Because I want you to see the infrastructure. And again, this is my point in highlighting how economic ventures tends to improve the conditions of a country, its well-being, and the well-being of its citizens. And that's, to me, what a responsible government is all about. So I wish my country, I wish the government we have, I don't feel comfortable calling it my government because I don't care about them. Because I don't trust them, that's one. And second, they're not in possession to really do the right thing. That's simple as that. So, by the way, we are now entering the Nanjing streets from the side of the Bund. So I'm gonna show you this one quickly. I'm in the shade here, but this is like across the street. That's the Bund over there, the Bund rather, and I'm entering now the Nanjing Street East. So, and I'm just gonna walk a little bit here and answer some of your questions. So let me wrap up this issue about Nepal. And I think this is again, these demonstrations is nothing but a reaction to what the former Prime Minister of Nepal did with China regarding the signing of an agreement that deals with energy and infrastructure. So that's the only way I can read it. Please share your thoughts about it. And once again, because Nepal took step forward towards freeing itself from the shackles of India. I hope Bhutan can do the same, but Bhutan is in a much more complicated position than Nepal. And that's why India, in my opinion, will not be willing to resolve the border issues with China, because if that issue is resolved once for all, that will allow China to have a free sort of investments in countries like Bhutan. By the way, this is the famous Peace Hotel. It's well known here, and a lot of Chinese, when they come over to visit the city, they take picture with this one here. It's well known hotel here, so very big. I think it's 5 star, 4 star, something like that. And by the way, I'm not staying here, guys. You know, I don't like hotels much. So I'm staying in an apartment. You know, there are ways here, if you know where to look, you can get a decent apartment. Doesn't cost much. I don't need much space. It's just the idea of I come all the way here, I'm not gonna be staying in a hotel the entire time. And you know, you wanna sort of learn about the culture. You wanna get into the culture to learn more about it. That is the whole idea of why, to me, why people, especially Westerners, when they come over, they don't integrate here to learn about a new culture, its values and so forth. So, and that's to me very important. So. All right, guys. Once again, let me just wrap this up and be done with this. Regarding Qatar, I don't expect much to happen besides just statements. Most likely you might see a meeting for the Islamic organization. You might see a call by Qatar at the UN for the UN Security Council to meet regarding this violation. But you all know, it's nothing but just a show. You know, the US will veto anything. We vetoed to allow aid for starving human beings. Have nothing to do with Palestinians. Human beings like you and I. We vetoed that. The Britain abstained from it. That just shows you. And again, I don't trust, never trusted, we never trust Trump. Trump is he's a showman. The guy doesn't represent me. I don't give a damn about him, whatever, I don't care. And I'll say it straightforward. I don't care for any politicians in America. Why? Because they are so damn corrupted. If they have decency of some honesty of sort, they can at least act on behalf of the American people. We are paying the taxes, and yet you see where our taxes are going, into a corrupted and destructed Ukraine, instead of building the infrastructure like the speed train, like upgrade airports, like areas where we're clean. Look at the ground here, guys. I'm gonna show you. Just tell me if there is any piece of papers or trash or whatever. Yeah, look at that. And I'm not just picking the right spot. I'm going around. So this way you see with your own eyes. Yeah, so, but also I walk here at 7:30 in the morning, and there are the cleaning people passing through here. They take care of everything, and the people are responsible also. There's trash everywhere. They'll put the trash in the trash bin, and that's it. You don't throw stuff. I don't read Chinese. Hold on. Shanghai. Why not? Oh, big dragon, look. Oh man. Wow, look at that. Oh, there are shops for silver and all that. So you can see that. I'm gonna come here at night. I'll do one live stream for you at night. So. All right, let me see if there are any questions, and I'm gonna sign off because I have to go to prepare something for you. I'm working on, and by the way, before I forget, you remember I met with surprisingly with Dr. Warwick Pao. That wasn't the surprise. The surprise was someone else. I'm not gonna disclose the name, and the reason being because I might be back to Beijing, and I will make that surprise happen with that particular person. But just want to let you know, there is one individual that I'm supposed to meet in Beijing, and I want it to be a surprise for you. But I end up not meeting with him because circumstances prevent the meeting from happening. So, and I don't want to disclose the name. I want to keep it for you. So. Okay, let me see if there's a quick question, and I'm gonna sign off, guys. Here, I'm walking here. You can tell people start coming out here, and the tourists. Hi, doctor. Who's next after Qatar in the region? I would say Jordan. That's the way I see it. Jordan, because Jordan is much more preferable for Israel than Qatar. Why? Because there are certain border issues and so forth. If Israel can expand into Jordan, remember we have a presence, a military post. We call them forward post, a FOB, forward operating base. It was on the border, right on the border of Jordan. Of course, the Jordanian government denied all that. So that's the way I see it. But even with that, I don't see, because the King Abdullah, that he will probably go privately or secretly to Israel and talk to Netanyahu, well, something like that. But if I am to just guess, it will be Jordan. Okay, sorry guys. The state when you post something, it doesn't stay on the screen on a phone here, but it does on. By the way, did you like the DJI store I visited? Oh my gosh, those equipments, half the price of what it costs in the US. Try Lanto Lamian. Okay, I'll check it out either this afternoon or tomorrow morning, because I have 2 other things I need to do for you guys, for the community, and I'm ready. We'll be ready to come home next week. So, Don, are you okay? Love that DJI video. Yeah, it was. I want you to see not only the efficiency of the equipment, but also how affordable. I wish I know how to operate drone. I'll buy one, but I don't. So, and I'm not willing to spend time to learn for that, because I'm not 20 years old. By the way, somebody thought I was 33. I laughed with him, and we just joked. Yeah, I guess to him I looked so young though. So anyway, it's just numbers anyway. All right, let me see one more question, if there is one, and I'm gonna sign off as soon as I cross the street here. By the way, East Nanjing Street is very, 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 very big. So you can, let me see here. DJI has classroom sessions in how to fly your. Oh my God, I didn't know that, Kevin. Oh, I know the place where the store is. I'm gonna go and because I can get on a metro. Oh my gosh, I'd like to learn, so I'm gonna check it out. Thank you for pointing that out. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it. Okay, I am coming to the end of my location here, where I have to hop into the subway, and good food indeed. I've been eating Chinese. I went over to the lady I met last year who used to make me dumplings with shrimp and all that. I ate twice at her place, also because I like to support small businesses, and I wanted to. So I had, by the way, I had a hot pot in Beijing, not here, in Beijing. It was incredible. So the culinary is quite expensive. It depends where you go. It depends where you go. There are places I've been eating at. It's not that expensive at all. And I don't eat much anyway, so it's not. I tried some other cuisines here, but usually when I like today, I don't feel like eating because I had a big dinner yesterday with my friend, and I don't intend to do it. So, is it hot there? It's a little bit. It starts to cool off a little bit, but it's warm enough that you can go with t-shirt and shorts, and but it's not as hot as it was when I got here the first time. Is Shenzhou, you can go. No, not in a plan today and on this trip. I might do it next trip. I heard something about it too. I'd like to visit. What I'm gonna do for you guys is a different location, and again, I don't want to disclose it for you right now. I don't want to surprise you with it. Everyone knows Qatar will never. You're right. You're absolutely correct. Because they're spineless, and not just Qatar. The Sunni Arab countries, I want you to get this from me, guys. The Sunni Arab countries, they just talk. There is a saying in Arabic, to those who speak Arabic, اتفق العرب على ألا يتفقوا. Arabs agree not to agree. That just shows you. They talk, but there is no action. If they really had a shred of dignity, they would have took stand for this massive starvation that is taking place in Gaza, regardless what happened. But they don't. Tell me if there's any country in the Sunni Arab world stepped forward and said, you know what, we're gonna deploy our military, or we're gonna do this if this doesn't stop. You only have the Houthis, Ansarullah, and you have Iran. That's about it. That's the only difference. The rest of them, it's just, and I never believed them, that because, I dealt with them before, so that was my conclusion. Anyway, let me turn this back to me here. And I want to tell you, thank you for joining me here live. As I said, I'm working on two main things for you for the next few days. And please make sure to share the video with others. We need to increase the number of subscribers here. It's not because the numbers in itself, but rather I would like to have as many people around the world to be informed as you. And the only way we can do this is by sharing this video with others, and please encourage others to subscribe. So very grateful to you for all your support. Very grateful to the special donor who really made this trip happen. I was asked not to disclose the name, and I will respect that no matter what. So once again, I look forward to seeing you soon. As always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.